Well, welcome back and howdy to Cars and Cows and Chickens. Don't look it on the camera, but it's almost dark. Karen, she's still in town Christmas shopping, so I guess I get to put the chickens up here in a few minutes. Let's go in here in the shop, man, and see what we got going on. Yeah, we left off last time. We're working on my header panel, trying to weld in these little pieces where I've cut out. I got a little done. I just cut this piece out and put it there a minute ago, but I was wanting to talk to some of the, what you'd call the new guys just starting to learn to weld, just getting started and stuff, and you're going to mess up. I'm just going to tell you right now, especially welding on this little thin sheet metal. You're going to burn a hole, I promise you. But one good thing, you're working with metal, and metal can be fixed. Old buddy of mine, David Whitty, told me one time, said if God makes it, it might be hard to fix, but if it's man-made, it's fixable. So I had my welder turned up a little bit higher than what it needed to be. I went over here a minute ago. Other night I was doing it. The other day I was just kind of going by, just playing around by ear and sight and sound or whatever. And I had it turned up to 15 something, like 194. So I flipped my lid and looked. It said the lowest setting's like 14.595, and I tried that, and the wire speed wasn't nearly enough. So I played around with it for a couple minutes, got it where I wanted it. So I'm at 14.5. I'm welding with 035 wire. I got a roll of 030 I could put over here, but I'm just too lazy and hard-headed to do it. But I cranked it up. I got about 138, and it's welding pretty good right there, and not trying to burn a hole. I did, right out here on that very little corner, I did burn a little hole. And but all you gotta do, just keep, when you're welding, just hit your trigger and put your little spot there, and then watch it through your helmet. And as soon as the redness goes away, then you can just bump right back into that last weld where it's a little thicker, and then fill the hole up. I'll show you here in a second. Yeah, the hole, it looks pretty good size, and it is thin there. One thing I could do if I wanted to, and I've already done up here, I can lay another piece of this metal where I cut out in behind it, and that would really help. But I'm gonna show you. I mean, I may wind up doing that on some other stuff. I may leave that back in there behind that. But I'm gonna show you how I fill that hole there up without anything behind it. It just takes a couple. It takes a little time. You gotta just take your time with it. And like I said, after you weld it, let that redness go out of it. See how I'm welding back to the weld itself. It's thicker, and it will eventually fill that hole up, and then you just take and grind it down flat with your grinder. I still may not have my speed up enough. Let me turn my wire speed up just a hair. Turned it up to 149. That might be too much. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I hate it when it does that, and I don't know why it does that. Turned it back down to 145. Let's see what happens there. Sorry about that. I hit my tripod with my foot. Still got my speed tube slow. Still got my speed too slow. Want to burn back. There we go. That sounds better, don't it? Now we're cooking with electricity. That's a pretty good hole I'm trying to fill up too. Let that redness go out of it. Sometimes it'll burn a hole out bigger if you ain't careful. You just gotta take your time. Still ain't got my speed up enough, I don't think. Turn it up to 155, see what that does. I hear a bunch of geese going over. Well, I do believe I got the hole filled up. What do you think? Now let's take my grinder down smooth. And then I'll work on these, filling in them cracks there, places. Still got a few little rough spots to fill in here and there, and I'll work on my grinder. One thing I did, take my helmet off. One thing I did, well, yesterday, let me start over yesterday. I went to Harbor Freight and got me a laser level. I saw on Facebook, I'm friends with Corey Wheat Customs on Facebook, and he'd got him a laser level, and I asked him where he got that. And he said he got it at Harbor Freight. So after church yesterday, I went and got me a laser level, and even got me a free bucket. But I went and bought me some, what'd I do with it? Let me find it. Went and bought me some Hercules 6-inch sanding disc, 180 grit. Loop, it's hook and loop. I'm gonna put that on my air sander. Cause I'm getting where I've been, let me fill this up here, here we go. Where I've been grinding on that thing with that grinder, it wants to leave it kind of humps in it and whoop-de-doos. So I thought I'd try to, and that's just with a 4-inch grinder. I thought, well, I'm gonna take 6-inch, well, maybe I can get a little flatter and take my air sanding disc and do that flatter with that 180 grit. I didn't want to go too crazy with it. My grinding disc is 120. So I'm gonna get it close with that, knock the worst of the, like them high spots, I'll knock them down with that 120, and then I'll put that on my air sander, then I'll go back over it. Maybe it won't be as bad. And that way it won't be as much to have to fill up with Bondo and get it good and smooth and slick. So anyway, you get the idea. We got that hole welded up. I didn't, as you can see, I didn't shoot no anti-splatter on it, so I got splatter all over the place. And I hate that stuff because I can grind it off, but I still hate that splatter. It makes a mess. And like you can see little spots over here, I still need to fill up a little bit. But I think I got my welder set pretty good, so we're ready to rock and roll. Alrighty, so I've been working a little bit. Got all this welded up. It's gonna need Bondo work, that's for sure. It's not smooth by any means, but that's alright, it's just part of it. But as I was saying in the last video, or maybe 2 videos ago, see how that steps up there or it bends down, and that was stamped in the factory like that. And it would be really, really hard for me to duplicate that. So what I done, I pulled this over and marked and eyeballed her real good. And I just cut a big piece out, and I cut me a little piece out, and I made it about that wide where I'd have enough to work with, because it's got a weird bend to it. So what I actually had to do, after I bent it in a 90, and then I split it, and then I got it all put in, and I clamped it on this end right here and tack welded on the back side. Then I had to bend that around to it kind of, and then of course keep my little bitty radius here. It ain't much. And then weld it in back here on this back side. Then I welded it from the back. I welded my split up where it don't show as bad, didn't have as much to grind. So, you know, it's gonna need a little bit of body work, but it's pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. Of course, this old piece here, it needs a little work done to it itself. It ain't perfect, but at least we got something to go by. So I'll have to come back and trim all this out, and I'm gonna cut mine right here where this is broke on this piece, and then I'll just cut me out a long piece and weld to it a little bit at a time. I'll probably do 1/2 at a time. I'll just, like I said, I'll mark this, match it with that, match it with the original copy, cut it out. But we're slowly getting there. I still got that piece to fill in, and over here I may have to cut another one. This side over here bent pretty good. It might need just another one cut in here and bend this one out just a little more to match this side. But it kicks up there pretty close to that other one. So I think we're looking good. I may work on it a little bit with the hammer and dolly, try to get it out a little flatter, get my radiuses just a little better. Working on it with my hammer and my dollies before I have to do the Bondo work. But I believe it's gonna come together pretty nice. I believe it'll work. So stand by, it's getting supper time. I think I'm gonna go in. I think I heard Miss Karen come in. She's been shopping, Christmas shopping all day. So I'm gonna go in and see if I can get a bite to eat and maybe come back up here and work a little longer. So a little update on my welder. This is Tuesday. I didn't come back down to the shop last night after all. But went to town a while ago, just got back. But went to town, I went to Modern Supply. I talked to them boys about my welder. They got me some anti-spatter. Yeah, they've quit making the good stuff. You can't get it no more. They said in California, they figured out it was cancer causing. So they got this new stuff. It's cheaper, but I don't know how it works compared to the old stuff. I used to use some stuff called Weld Clean, and they don't even sell that no more. But yeah, I talked to them about my welder. So yeah, I went out there over to Modern Supply and I talked to them about my TIG, about my Alpha TIG, and they don't work on them there no more. They send them down to Nashville to have them looked at and worked on. And it's $150 just to send it down there and have it looked at. And so this morning, just out of curiosity, before I even went to town, I got online and got to looking. And I looked at, I think it's called an Arc Captain or something like that. And I watch Peace and Grease a whole lot. I don't know if y'all watch them or not. Old Tim Miller and Jennifer Lynch, and they use Arc Captain. As a matter of fact, I think they're sponsored by them. But I'd buy what it showed, I believe, to be one of the better Arc Captains TIG, AC/DC TIG, for like under $300. So what do I do? Do I spend the $150, send that thing down to Nashville to have it looked at, and then who knows what it'll cost to have it fixed? It might be $50 fix, it might be a $300 fix. So, and of course what I'd like to have would be a Miller, but they start out at over $2,000. And like I told them boys over at Modern, I said, shoot, I'd go through 4 or 5 of them Arc Captains for what one Miller would cost me. So I'm kind of up in there about that. I'll just have to wait after the first year. I might get me a new TIG, I don't know. I got out here yesterday a little bit playing with this one, just scratch starting it. I might just have to do that for a while, we'll see. So I was saying earlier, I got out here and kind of finished this up, got it pretty close. I'm gonna have to do a little hammer dolly work on it. For sure gonna have to do some bondo work. What I had originally thought about doing was where this right here is broke and bent. I was just gonna cut this off, I was gonna mark it and cut this one off, and then cut me out a thin piece of long strip of sheet metal and weld it to it. But on my way back from town a while ago, got my old whirligig up in my skull going, and I got to thinking, I said, well, why don't I mark my line, and then come out and just mark it in like 1 inch increments. Say on this one, 1 inch increments, have my line, and I can take me some 1/4 inch flat stock, cut it out 1 inch wide, sharpen it on the ends. Matter of fact, get 2 pieces, and I got a bucket full of vice grips over here. I can take and clamp that up to it, and then weld that piece of flat stock to both jaws, the upper and lower jaws, and vice grips, and I'll just have me my own little break. And like I said, I'll sharpen it where it's a good sharp break, and just break it in 1 inch increments, and then weld it all back together and fill it in where it needs filling. And I stopped at Raleigh's on my way home and talked to him about that, and he said that might just work. So I think that's what I may do. Think that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, I'm fixing to cut me out some metal and start welding and try to get all this filled up and see what I can get done there. Well, I got this centerpiece welded up, cut my pie pieces out, welded them in. I've been banging on a little bit with a hammer and dolly, trying to flatten it out a little bit. You know, I'm new really at working with sheet metal much. I know I'm about to bondo it anyway to get it like I want it. I'll have to, you know, lay bondo from here to here probably, get it all flattened back out like it's supposed to be. But it's turned out pretty good, and I've got my welder set. I got a 251 miller. I finally got her set at 145, 174. I'm running 035 wire. I forget what I got my gas set at. I can't read very good, but 20, 21, 22 pounds, something like that, I think. But it's welding real good. I'm not getting no blow-throughs, so I'm happy with that. I still got to do this corner over here. I'm getting ready to do it. But my videos, I'm kind of wanting for the ones that are, you know, starting out doing this and just learning. It's like I said, you're going to mess up. You're going to have blow-throughs. You just got to take your time, and like I was showing earlier, just keep bumping that right back into the weld. Let that redness go out of it and let it cool there a second. But all I'm doing is just cutting off like a little pie here. I marked it. I'm gonna cut it out with my cutoff wheel. I already measured it kind of, and I'll lay it in here and get started, and I'll just keep working it till I get it welded up. After it gets down so far, I just keep welding to it. I don't even have to put no metal in there. I just keep bumping into the weld after it gets it down here real tight. I know I got to cut one more pie or one more slit right in here, probably tighten that radius on out just a little further to match that other one. But we're getting there. I believe it's going to be all right. I'm kind of happy with what I've got going on so far. I wished I was a little better with a dolly and a hammer and all that kind of stuff doing it. But like I said, I know I'm going to have to finish it out with bondo and primer and paint and everything to make it look good. But that's just part of building an old hot rod or an old car. Just takes a little time, a little work, a little effort. Sometimes you gotta just kind of sit back and look and see what you got going on and figure it out. Well, we're slowly getting her there. I know it's funny. I used to watch Foose and Martin Brothers and all them guys. They could build a whole car in a 1 hour show. It's taking me forever to just get the header panel done for this old truck back here. But I enjoy doing stuff like this, and I hope y'all do too. Just like I've been saying, you know, if you're just getting started, just don't get frustrated. Take your time, and you know what? Do like I do. I watch other shows and watch how other people do stuff, and just kind of tweak it to your own liking. That's kind of what I do. And but I guess as we bring this one to a close, let's remember the real reason for the season. That's the birth of our Lord and Savior. And I would just like to say, from my family to yours, I wish y'all a very Merry Christmas.